Hey everybody, Bacon here again for another deck pick of the week. Today's deck pick is a bit experimental. It's a little bit weird, a little bit different, but it is inspired by a YouTube comment from Jebediah Chesterfield. So Jebediah wanted to know if I had ever tried the aggro pirate rogue with shadow steps and argent horse riders, and I hadn't. I hadn't tried it, but I looked around for a deck list, found one that is apparently made by Ant HS. I may have gotten that wrong, but that's what I heard. So that's who I'm crediting it to. And it's this list right over here. So this list is an aggro rogue. It's got pirates. It's got chargers, all that stuff. It's looking to kill your opponent fast. And I liked playing it. It worked pretty well. Kind of, better than I was initially expecting. It's a pretty interesting deck. But I wanted to take this and do something a bit different. So I've played a lot of Arena. I used to play almost exclusively Arena. And anyone who plays a lot of Arena knows that Rogue has been traditionally quite strong in Arena because of their high tempo cards like Backstab, SI7 Agent. Those two in particular are really strong. Their hero power is also strong in Arena. And what you get with a lot of strong rogue decks in Arena is you have decks that they take advantage of their hero power early game to get like card efficient trades, and then they use those high tempo cards in the mid game to take the board back and put on a lot of pressure. And I've been wondering for a while, like why this type of thing doesn't really work in constructed. You look at a lot of the rogue cards that you can play with, and you would think that you're able to play a really great tempo game. You have, like I mentioned, Backstab SI7 Agent. If you're playing constructed, then you have the option of using preparation, which is something that you pretty much never draft in Arena. And that's another just like great tempo card. You play something for free. It's pretty good tempo. So what I wanted to put together was a pirate tempo rogue. This tempo rogue archetype hasn't really worked that well in the past, but I think the addition of the pirate package really helps to solidify that early game and really make sure that you can grab the board. So this is the deck list I've been working on. I think it needs more refining, but this is the basic idea. You want to use the pirate package, your high tempo cards in the early game and the mid game, and then if things go to like the turn 7 area, you just reload your hand with sprint, and then you just keep applying pressure. So you get if things go well, you get a never-ending string of like small to medium threats with Azure Drake and Sprint to reload your hand. So you may be asking, why not Gadgetzan? Most rogue decks have been running Gadgetzan lately. And traditionally, Rogue has been a very strong class with Gadgetzan because you can use those mana efficient cards with Gadgetzan to take advantage of how cheap you can remove something with a card like Backstab or Sap, and then it doesn't have the downside of costing you a card because you're cycling it with Gadgetzan Auctioneer. That's really strong with Rogue. But what I was finding with a deck like this is that it is too slow. With Gadgetzan, if you want to reload your hand, you have to wait till minimum like we'll say turn 5 if you're running counterfeit coins and Tomb Pillager and all that stuff. Whereas with Sprint, you can bust that out as early as turn 4. I mean, the ideal game is if you get like 1 drop into 2 drop into 3 drop into turn 4 prep Sprint. So then you have board presence, you have a full hand, and then you can use the extra resources you have to either push your advantage or remove their cards from the board. So I find Sprint works a lot better for a deck style like this. And really, we're trying to make a deck that is similar to the old Oil Rogue. Oil Rogue, despite being labeled as a combo deck by a lot of people, was actually a lot more tempo oriented with a burst game finisher. you won a lot of games when you were playing Oil Rogue, not with the combo, but with your early to mid game. So that's sort of what we're trying to emulate here. Obviously, we don't have the burst game finisher that Oil Rogue did, but we do squeeze in a Leroy Jenkins. We've got Cold Bloods, so it's sort of the same idea, maybe a little weaker. But Oil Rogue was quite a strong archetype, so it's tough to compete with a lot of pre-standard decks. And of course, R.I.P. Blade Flurry. But yeah, let's play a few games with this. You can see how it's going, and then let me know in the comments what you think of the deck and any changes you would make. One change I'm looking to make is possibly taking something out for a Dark Iron Skulker. Dark Iron Skulker could fit the bill here because I've been able to take the board back against aggressive Shaman or Warrior decks, but I take it back like one turn too late. So Dark Iron Skulker could be the key to solving this problem because it's another very tempo efficient removal. It's basically consecrate with a body, right? So if you can remove a few minions while also developing your own, that's just like, that's the definition of tempo. So that might be something to squeeze in here, but I haven't tried it yet, so I don't want to suggest it to you. But yeah, let me know what changes you would make to the deck, and if you try it, and if you have any success with it. Yeah, let's play a few games.
Valera versus Uther. I will fight with honor.
Watch your back.
All right, well, Paladin is not a very common class for us to run into. It's generally going to be Murloc Paladin, but it could be, sort of like the hand buff Zoo style. But we're going to make the assumption that we're playing against Murlocs. So in this situation, we pretty much are always going to want to get a fast start. So we're keeping our Buccaneer. Keeping the Horse Rider is debatable on the coin, but I don't think so. We'll find out fairly quickly which type of Paladin we're playing against. Oh, cool. Small time Buccaneer. So that's a much better option for turn one than the regular Buccaneer.
Feed the fish, landlubber.
So the regular Buccaneer it's fine for a 1-drop, but it's not ideal. The 1 health of it makes it a pretty big liability in aggro matchups because of the existence of patches or like Nizos First Mate, Spirit Claws. Lots of things very efficiently deal with 1 health creatures. So in those matchups, you might actually want to save this Buccaneer for a later play. Of course, that's not something we need to deal with right now, but it is something to take note of. So I think we're going to save our backstab because we have the Violet Teacher. So we'll probably do Soci, Deckhand, Hero Power. We get the 2 attack, dagger, and trade patches.
Here we go.
Also makes us a bit stronger against a turn 4 consecration.
Reporting for duty.
So we could pretty easily push 10 here. It does play into consecration a little bit more, so I think what we're going to end up doing is Violet Teacher and then just dagger down the 1/1. There's an argument for using backstab here, but I think we're gonna expend the dagger.
Pay attention, class.
Here we go.
Yo!
So with Finja coming out, we can't really deny them the value from that, unfortunately. So I think it's time to just go face. Unfortunately, we don't have a sap for if a taunt comes down, but most like I guess the biggest problem we could run into is the Wicker Flame dude.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
I'm ready to
Instruction
work.
begins.
Here we go.
Having the sprint in hand does help us with a bit of a contingency plan. So we ideally want to kill them in the basically next turn. But if we don't, then we do have the option of going for the sprint on turn 7, refilling our hand, and trying it again. It's looking pretty good for us, though. Let's see if they get bluegills. They'll probably get at least one. Yeah. They used one already, right? Yeah, okay. Both bluegills are out of the deck now. But yeah, unfortunately for them, that's the best they can do with it, and we're just gonna push for lethal, right? 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Yep.
I'm ready to work.
Instruction begins.
I shall do as you
Here
say. I'm
we
ready to
go.
work.
The victory is yours.
So pretty quick victory. Didn't need our sprints, and it's actually a good thing we got the turn 6 kill there because our sprints, our hand was looking pretty clogged. 2 sprints and nothing else isn't the ideal situation. But where the sprint really shines is in the matchups against Reno, because you can't consistently get that kill on turn 6. Like, I mean, you can, but not all the time. So what you need to do in that situation is get a read on whether or not you should be pushing the damage,
Valera
and
versus
then
Valera.
if you think you can, you go face.
Your
Try and
I
maximize the
always
damage
do.
you output, and if not, then you go for more of a board control play with the sprint to reload. So the Rogue Mirror, I don't think we want any of these cards. We just want our Pirates and possibly a Sap, especially since they're on the coin for the big Edwin.
Feed the fish, landlubber.
I was having a bit of a debate there between the Buccaneer and the Deckhand. The Deckhand, we are able to fairly reliably get the charge activation. But of course, same with the Buccaneer. Either of them we can get it on turn 3. But the reason I ended up going for the Deckhand instead of the Buccaneer is that so we've got the synergy both with Cold Blood, but also with Sea Captain. Having a charging 3/2 for 1 is pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm surprised they're not just daggering here. I wonder what play they have. So considering a few options. Is it the big Edwin?
This guy's toast.
That seemed a little nice. This is an awkward turn. Once again, it comes back to whether or not we want to burn the prep for an SI7 activator, and I think in this matchup at this time,
This guy's toast.
Here
because I imagine they're playing standard Miracle build. And in that situation, we really need to be winning on board. The other option we could have went for is the charging South Sea. But I think it ends up being better that we get the South Sea Captain synergy going here.
Trust the pirate's code.
Not that it would matter in this situation though, because we are gonna run into the 3/2 with it.
Hey, lights out.
Here we go.
Thank you.
That's one of the best sap targets we can get against Rogue, really, besides like the big Edwin.
Hey, lights out.
And then we're also gonna make sure we put Cold Blood on the SI7
Incredible.
because now they're kind of both high priority remove targets.
Thank you.
All right, so here I guess we're just gonna dagger up pass, like after we hit face, of course,
Here
because now we
go.
are representing lethal. I seriously doubt they have any cons, but we are gonna need the Leroy for combo activator next turn. I guess it's possible we draw something, but this is like guaranteed. It's actually quite likely we draw something.
Anywhere.
As long as we don't die this turn, which is actually impossible with the way they've been playing it so far, we're gonna be good.
Well played.
All right, hopefully run into a Shaman or a Warrior. That's sort of the matchup I'm trying to showcase because that's the one I find most difficult. It's quite difficult to beat them, and I probably have the worst matchup against Shaman, which is unfortunate because that's also what a lot of the ladder is. So that's a bit of a weakness. Oh, good, we got a Shaman.
For Doomhammer.
Watch your back.
So keeping Edwin on the coin, and I think we toss everything else. Eviscerate can help, help accomplish the dream of like prep Eviscerate coin Edwin on turn 2, kill a Totem Golem and get an 8/8, but I think we're gonna pass on that. It's not incredibly likely that we're able to make it work.
Charge roll!
This is an unfortunately slow start followed up by drawing patches. So that's really not good. I think here we probably just dagger down the 1/1 and then get ready to go for a big Edwin. We could do like patches coin Edwin next turn.
Here we go.
Or we could do some sort of play with SI7 to act as removal. So yeah, here I think it's correct to go for the
So
SI7
many
play.
options.
Patches coin SI7. Or is it ever better to go for Argent Horse Rider? I don't think so. We'll do Patches Coin, SI, take out the Trog,
Here we go.
and then one to go. We're punished by Maelstrom Portal, but even that's not that bad. We're much happier with that outcome. So I think since they had a slow turn, we can afford to just set up Violet Teacher here. The other option is going for like Argent Horse Rider Coldblood, which is not
I
atrocious,
wonder.
but it's also not good.
Pay attention,
Yeah, I think
class.
we want to get the Violet Teacher up and going. That is a bit of a punish. So from this situation, taking out the Flame Tongue is very tempting. So we would do like Horse Rider Dagger. We could also just go for Drake, but that doesn't seem great because it just dies to the 5/3. I think Horse Rider Dagger is probably correct.
Wonder.
The other option is we just go full face with Horse Rider Double Coldblood. That's weak to Maelstrom. Not actually that weak to Dagger because that does involve
Too
them
soon.
taking another 8 or another 10. I think we go for the Dagger.
The
Club.
cavalry's here.
Here we go.
Golems are a girl's best friend.
The Brotherhood shall prevail.
Yeah, here we're just trying to push damage from this point. We sapped the Aya because it's pretty slow. Obviously, we don't want to give them another Jade activator, but we're trying to make it so that it gets to a point where they just don't have time to make it work. Oh, they're just going for it. Okay. I think we win, right? They did not respect the damage out
Here
there.
we go.
That's kind of the way you're going to want to play this against shamans. You want to be able to take the board fairly early with your tempo cards, and then from that you just start to push face. So you're using high tempo early game cards to be able to get some chip damage in, and then you either finish them with things like Leroy Coldblood, Argent Horse Rider Coldblood, etc., or you reload with the sprint, and then you try it again. So yeah, that's the deck of the week we got here. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know any suggestions you have for different techs or additions to the deck. Like I said, it's not refined. I don't really I don't think that this is the best version it can be. I think it can definitely get better, but it's already having some decent results. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. And please, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button and the like. It really, one, helps out the channel, but two, lets me know what you guys like. So yeah, let me know, and we'll see you guys next time.